much. Welcome to Driver 81. This video is dedicated to 5 problems with my Golf GTI Mk5. So this is my 2006 Mk5 Golf GTI. It's a 6-speed manual gearbox. It has a stage 1 APR and it's pumping up about 250 brake horsepower. And it's quick. But as with all cars, this car does have its issues. It's 12 years old, it's to be expected. So the first problem with the car is something that I've not yet had the chance to even look at or figure out why it's happening. I suspect it's something probably to do with like a solenoid or a relay. But when I sometimes when I start the engine, and it's totally random, when I start the engine, the rear wiper will just randomly keep wiping. Now sometimes it will go for 2 or 3 revolutions, or sometimes it'll just stay on until I turn the engine off again, which is really quite annoying. Not a massive thing, but something that is quite annoying and does need to be looked at. The second problem with this Golf GTI is, again, something that I've not yet had the chance to look at properly. I haven't even researched it online. However, when the car is hot, say for example, if you start the car first thing in the morning, it doesn't matter what the temperature, if it's hot or if it's cold, it starts absolutely no problem whatsoever. However, if I was to say drive it for 20 minutes, half an hour, park it up, and then come back to it 5 minutes later and try to start it up, it would crank, then completely pause for about maybe a second, 2 seconds, and then it would crank and start properly. So there's a 2-litre turbo engine and a stage 1 APR. You felt that slow crank, right? It does that every second or third start. So I don't know if it's an issue with the hot engine, because I could then drive it again for half an hour, park it up, go back into it, and it would start fine. So it seems to be on the second start whereby it's not hesitating, but it cranks, stops, you keep the key turned, and then it cranks and goes properly. So that's the second issue with this Golf GTI. Third issue with this Golf GTI is something only noticeable, and it only really annoys you when you're actually using it. It's the passenger seat here, and if you've got passengers in the back, so you've got to put people in the back, or you've got to get people out the back. Sometimes we have the child seat in the back. But what happens is, if you pull the chair forward and then pull the backrest forward to let somebody out the car, that's all very well, but when you put the car back, it doesn't return to its original position, which is quite annoying. So you've then got to manually go in and adjust the seat again to get it back to its original position. Not a massive thing, as I say, but something that annoys you when you are getting people in and out of the car. Oh, yeah. Okay, the fourth problem with this car is that for quite a period of the time when I've had the car, it's had the check engine light on. Now, from what I'm reading online, is that is quite normal. Well, it's not normal, of course, but it's a characteristic of the VW Golf, apparently. I mean, I don't get that. I don't buy into that. But it is an issue that many people have reported, and just as it happens, it's also on my car. I do know what the issue is. Diagnosed it with this trusty iCarsoft i908 kit, which is a fantastic little kit. I'll put the link to this in the video below, in the description below. However, we've got the fault codes, and it's relating to a faulty MAF sensor, so the mass airflow meter does need to be replaced on this car. It's the only fault we have regarding the check engine light, so to be honest with you, I'm not that bothered about it. Once I put the new MAF in, which probably only cost about 30-40 quid, get that put in, turn the engine light off, it will be running fine again. The car runs fine, to be honest with you. There's not really any issues with that. You do get a little bit of fluctuation on the rev counter, but that's about it. Nothing to worry about as far as I'm concerned. Okay, the fifth and final thing about this car, which is currently experiencing a little bit of difficulty, is the LCD display in the center of the dashboard or the speedo cluster here. Again, it's not a problem. Right now I've been driving for a period of about 7 or 8 minutes, and the LCD screen display is absolutely fine, no problems with it. You can see everything really clearly. But if I was to continue this journey and maybe drive on for another 15-20 minutes or even up to half an hour, the LCD screen starts to fade to a point where you can barely read the numbers on the screen. So it's absolutely fine when it's cold, but when it starts to heat and warm up, the numbers start to fade. I suspect it probably needs a new LCD strip, or maybe needs to be sent away to a specialist. Honestly, it doesn't bother us that much. In fact, it doesn't bother us at all, because I rarely need to look at these numbers on the screen here. I've got a fuel gauge, I've got a temperature gauge, I've got my rev counter and speedo. That's all I really need. I'm not bothered about the time or how many total miles are on the clock, or indeed the temperature, because those are generally things you can work out for yourself. Yeah, so that's 5 things. No, it's not. Yes, it is 5 problems with this Golf GTI. It is important to know that these problems, although they might be happening on other Golf GTIs, I'm not saying that this is something that happens on all Golf GTIs or all Golf Mark 5s. In fact, it's just problems that are located and isolated to this Mark 5 at the moment. Thanks very much for watching. Please give it a like. Please subscribe if you can. It really helps the channel grow. If I get 100 comments on this video, I will pick 5 people at random and send you something weird. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.